Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. We live in a very weird time in history, a time where people are punished for doing the right thing, for making a joke, for saying how they feel, for standing up for what they believe is right, and for standing, from my perspective, what I believe is right. And of course, with the opposite effect, people being hailed as heroes for doing what is wrong, for dividing the nation, for not taking responsibility and pointing the finger at others. Welcome to the world of cancel culture, where Lebron James is hailed as a hero for basically calling for violence against a police officer just doing his job. And when a police officer calls out LeBron James for his absolute ridiculous take, when a police officer stands up against the ridiculous woke crowd and pushes back against the narrative, he loses his job. It's absolutely absurd how things have become so twisted. So absolutely twisted is really the only way that we could word it. Logic, common sense, and most of all, standing up against the lunacy that's being pushed out here by some of these destructive figures, how it's all been flipped on its head and none of it makes sense anymore. So let me show you guys what I mean. How people across the country are being viciously attacked, they're losing their jobs for standing up against the woke mob that seeks to destroy everything in its path. And so let's get into the injustice, let's get into the lunacy. We got a lot to get into, but before we do, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers, and with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here's the headliner piece. Police officer suspended over viral TikTok video which mocked LeBron James. Now, I'm not going to show you guys the video because there's copyrighted music on it, but it's this officer right here. I'm sure you guys have seen it. If you haven't, it shouldn't be very hard to track down the video. It was a viral TikTok after all. Millions of people have seen it. It's been shared all over every social media. And essentially the police officer is acting out as if someone is stabbing someone and he calls LeBron James and he says, "What should I do?" Gets ridiculous advice which makes absolutely no sense, and then finishes the video by saying this.
I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but then again, you are really good at basketball, so I guess I'll take your word for it.
And it's just a video done in jest, and I really don't blame police officers for doing this stuff. They're dealing with the complete lunacy of the radical leftist mob that continues to vilify and attack them and push out the most ridiculous talking points, using them as fodder. How long are police officers supposed to take this from LeBron James and the like and just not do or say anything? How many times can you be walked on, stepped on, ignored, disrespected, slandered before you stand up and say enough is enough? And that's exactly what police officers are saying. And what do they get for it? He gets fired. You guys might have seen this incident right over here. Again, I'm not going to show you guys the video, but it's this police officer. I'm sure you can find it. These police officers are just doing a routine stop. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Maybe they're arresting someone. An individual pulls out their phone, starts filming the police officer, and continues to ask over and over again, "Are you going to shoot me like Micaiah Bryant?" Absolutely out of nowhere. The police officer is just standing there. Why would he shoot anyone? To which the police officer, of course, absolutely fed up, says, "Well, are you gonna stab someone like her?" And guess what? The police officer got fired. For what? For standing up for what's right once again. This narrative as if this police officer is just gonna pull out a weapon and use it on someone just because of the color of their skin or because he's a police officer and so therefore he must be enforcing white supremacy and blah 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 is complete lunacy. And people have been brainwashed to believe this stuff. And to add irony to this, that police officer who got fired for responding frankly quite cleverly is a graduate from HBCU, aka Historically Black College or University. He went to Howard University, at least from what I've gathered. But no, he got fired for defending himself against a ridiculous slander. These are the people who are getting reprimanded, vilified, fired. For doing what? For standing up for what's right. And it's continuous. It's not just with police officers. Black talk show host defends police shooting of Micaiah Bryant and faces vicious backlash. A co-host on an influential black talk. This is DJ Envy, who's been on Charlemagne the God's show for years now, and he specifically said, "This situation, my only thing is," and you're talking to somebody whose father is a retired cop, alright? Casey said. Now when that cop pulled up, he doesn't know friend or foe, he doesn't know who called the police. Every case is different, and in this case, if I pull up to a scene and see a girl chasing another girl trying to stab her, my job as a police officer is to make sure the girl doesn't get killed. And the law allows me to stop that killing or stop that stabbing by any means necessary. That's what the law allows me to do. Many of the show's listeners were furious that Casey refused to follow the racial narrative about the incident. DJ Envy, annoying TF out of me the past few days. You cannot justify that officer killing that girl, WTF. Every time a police shooting happens, DJ Envy, corny A, always gotta remind everybody that his dad was a cop. Maybe it gives him some perspective, hello? Let's make sure DJ Envy keeps the same energy when one of his children gets targeted by the cops. Well, what if your children was being targeted by the criminal trying to thrust a knife in them? You would be thanking that police officer. Talk about an argument falling falling flat on its face. And again, it's always the vocal minority. It's the minority of people who speak the loudest. Poll: 70% of Black Americans support the job their local police are doing. Obviously. A CBS News/YouGov poll released on Sunday found that 70% of Black Americans believe their local police are doing a somewhat or a very good job. The remaining 30% said the police were doing a somewhat or a very bad job. The results for whites were 82% to 18%, respectively. Among Hispanics, 77% rated their local police favorably compared to 22% unfavorably. Overall support for local police came in at 79% to 21%. And so the difference really isn't that much. Whites account for 82% to 18%, Hispanics 79% to 21%, and within the Black community 70 to 30. What's the difference? Honestly, considering the amount of propaganda that's being spewed out there each and every single day by thought leaders, the fact that 70% remains just shows you that people have their heads screwed on straight, and that people know that this bourgeoisie, latte liberal perspective of defunding the police or attacking police officers is not going to benefit them, especially not in neighborhoods that are subject to higher levels of violence and more specifically gang violence. That's the last line of defense that these vulnerable communities have. But fancy latte liberals don't care. Seattle chocolate store slammed on social media after refusing to serve police. Actions of employees routine throughout chain. How woke. It feels good, it's cool to say F the police, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. A bunch of misled, confused, lost liberals who are clearly out of touch with what minority communities truly need. They've been led astray. But this is the type of stuff that in modern culture is heralded as heroism. But what DJ Envy said and what these police officers are saying and what many people in the community are saying, don't listen to them, of course not. Listen to the grifters. Don't listen to the facts. Don't pay attention to what's really going on. Gang murders rise. Democrat-run Los Angeles slashes gang unit. Oh well, that's definitely gonna go real well. Good job, Democrats. Keep it up. It went really well in New York now, didn't it? Mayor Bill de Blasio's NYC sees 46 shootings during 1 week. New York City turning into the hate crime capital of the world. And now it seems as though they're trying to beat out Chicago for the most dangerous city in America. You get what you vote for, folks. That's just the way it is. You get what you vote for. Speaking of which, while we're on the topic of New York, change the subject a little bit. New York Times bombshell report says Andrew Cuomo's COOF death cover-up was much worse than previously known. Who would have thought that one, that they underreported the numbers that they had supposedly underreported? What a surprise. You get what you vote for. Absolutely ridiculous, beyond belief. And hopefully this video made the point that I'm trying to make, that it's cool you're viewed as a hero if you do the wrong thing, and if you do the right thing, then you get crap for it. It's unfortunate, it's ridiculous, and if we can't figure it out really quick and get this shit back in order in terms of Western civilization, as we go back and forth and let the woke mob destroy everything, the whole thing's gonna collapse, and our foreign adversaries are foaming at the mouth at the opportunities that lie ahead of them as we continue on this path of self-destruction. That's a video that I got for you guys on this one though. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I gotta get back to work. I wanna thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.